Half of Britain's families have problems with their children's sleep at one time or another. These range from children who simply won't stay in their own beds to sleep disorders like sleepwalking and night terrors. Night cameras record what goes on. It may not look like it, but these children are fast asleep.
I'm like another character in my dream, and I'm acting out what that character would do. But it would be in my house, and it's like what I do is perfectly normal to me, but it's just not what I would actually do when I'm awake. It's like... Well, they think that you've got your eyes closed and you walk around with your arms straight out. No, 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 no. And I think that you're gonna fall downstairs all the time and like jump out of windows, but you don't really do that kind of stuff.
Katie Yates is 13 and has been sleepwalking all her life. Katie is in a deep phase of sleep and is not conscious of any of her actions, even though she appears to be wide awake.
She's covered herself in felt pen. Little circles. She's circling all her freckles on her body, on her arms, on her legs, on her face. I found her on the doorstep. Bob's found her out in the garden. Run into her sister's bedroom and pulled the pillows away from under her head.
I've sprayed her with hairspray while she's in bed, which I think that must be quite scary for her. Like waking up that she's been totally like gassed out with hairspray, and then me through the mist with all the hairspray. Like
the poor girl woke up the next morning. She looked, all her hair was all.
I'm trying to tickle me fight. You make it back head. Jim all safe said your book. Please, man of our thoughts of one of you two. None of your book back. One of you, both of you kept your talking twerk.
Katie started sleepwalking when she was a toddler and was expected to grow out of it. While sleepwalking often runs in families, there is no single known cause for it.
We've looked for whether it's certain foods that she's eating, but we can't put our finger on it at all, what causes it.
The only pattern that there is that it's normally about an hour after she goes to bed.
That's more flower arranging stuff.
Katie and her family have just moved to a new house.
A lamp. Is this yours?
Yeah.
The old house, she roamed all over the house. She used to go into all the rooms, downstairs, upstairs. But here, she's basically just stayed in her bedroom. She's not come out of her room yet. We're expecting her to when she gets a bit more used to being here.
Daniel Morgan is a bright, happy 11-year-old, but he has a rather unusual sleep condition. His parents, Martin and Kerry, have had to cope with it since he was a baby.
When he was about 6 months old in his cot, he actually broke the rails and the cot was covered in blood. He actually split the top of his eye with the rails that he had snapped, but he was asleep all the way through it. It didn't wake him up or anything. He normally wakes us up between 2 and 3 times a night.
He's doing it before we even go to sleep, isn't he, sometimes? That's the only times I get involved. Most of the nights I sleep through it.
Typical man.
This is what my mum says. When I head bang, it's not just my head that bangs, it's my whole body that goes. When my head goes down, my body goes up, sort of thing.
He sort of rests on his elbows and he lifts his head up and bangs it. You actually see him physically moving. His top half of his body is boom, boom, pounding the pillow.
He normally wakes us up between 2 and 3 times a night, but we just go in and we turn him over on his back to stop him from head banging.
It must be affecting him some way, because some days he has good days at school, other days it's bad. Depends if he had a good night or a bad night.
And his attitude as
Yeah,
well.
because he's a very intelligent boy, extremely intelligent. But some days he just goes off on one, and you know when he wakes up he's going to have a bad day.
If I get a real bad headache, then it just seems to make it worse for some reason. Some of them real bad, like they hurt more, and sometimes they hurt so much that sometimes I do cry. Sometimes they're just little headaches that just last for only a few minutes. Go on, Dave, first. Go on.
David, he comes here for tea, and they're like the terrible twins when they're together. They mess around and they do things on the holidays together, but never sleeping over anyone's house. That's not Danny, not at the moment.
Not that close. Go get it, Slow.
David's mum is my friend, so really they've been at play school together and they know everything about each other. So it's made it easier for Daniel that he's got a friend and
Come on, Dave, give it a Beckham.
he can trust and rely and talk about his little problems. He's getting a bit frustrated because he wants to do things that grown children do, but he can't do it. He can, but he's just embarrassed, I think, of what his friends might say.
Well, me and David were out in the playground and someone's were taking a hit at disabled people, and me and David said you wouldn't like it if you were disabled, and then we were talking about the sort of problems, and then I came up with my problem. And I said that I headbang.
But the only thing is, he didn't say it in front of them. He just said it in front of me. He goes, oh, I headbang in the night. I goes, how do you do that? And he goes, well, I'm asleep and I can't control myself, and just hits his head. I didn't even know until then, I was shocked. Dad didn't tell anyone except for me and the teachers, and I ain't told no one. So really it's a secret between me and Daniel and his family and all that.
4-year-old Eden Henshaw is quite happy with her family sleeping arrangements. It's her parents, Ian and Claire, who aren't.
Sweet dreams, all right? Yeah? See you later. See you later, Mum.
You good?
Bye-bye.
Drive carefully.
Bye-bye.
Ian works nights, so it's usually Claire who puts Eden to bed. Claire is 6 months pregnant, and they want to get the problem sorted before the new baby arrives.
There's your blanket. At night, I'll put her to bed in her own bed. Then I'll have to lay down with her while she falls asleep. Yeah. Okay, do you want me to wait with you now?
Sorry.
Do you want me to wait with you now?
Yeah, you can actually.
You sure you're all right in the dark?
It can take Claire anything up to an hour to get Eden to sleep.
Then I have to creep out, avoiding the squeaky floorboards. Then I'll come down and do whatever I'm doing for an hour or so. Then I'll go up to bed.
Claire goes to bed at 10:30, but Ian won't be back from work for another 8 hours. To keep her company, she has Teddy and Minnie, the dogs, until Eden wakes up.
Should be on your bed. I'll go and get them. It'll be all right.
I get in. If the light's off sometimes, I know that Eden's already in her mum's bed. Just go straight to sleep on the sofa, really. Just get on the sofa. There's no point me going to bed because she wiggles, and I find it uncomfortable to sleep with Eden in the bed. Before we moved here 5 months ago, we lived in a one-bedroom flat, and her cot was in our bedroom, and then her bed, as she grew older, was in our bedroom, so she's always been in our bedroom. And I think that has got to be
She's used to having the company there.
So for 3 of her 4 years, she's been in our bedroom,
Yeah.
and there's nothing we could do about it.
Ian's only been asleep for 2 hours, but Eden's already up and about.
Hello. Decorated her room, made it how she wanted it, exactly what she wants, all the colour schemes, whatever. Tried to make her feel comfortable in there, and it's all hers, all her toys are up there. But no, somehow she seems to prefer our bed.
Yeah, so it's... don't really know what else to try.
So yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult. It'd be much nicer to get home, get into bed with my wife and have a good night's sleep or a day's sleep. That's the idea.
Danny had been a very brave lion after all. That was a nice story, wasn't it? Yeah? Lovely. All right then, darling. Give her a kiss. That's good. Sleep well, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Night, night, darling.
Holly Lentil is 6, and every night she wakes up terrified.
Hey, I'm here. Holly.
It's only an hour later. Though her eyes are open, Holly is fast asleep. She will not remember it in the morning. This is not a nightmare. It's a night terror.
Listen, I'm here. Oh, give me a cuddle. What's the matter?
Night terrors, according to all these books Marion's read, they go to bed for an hour, and then they have this one episode, this night terror, and after that they normally go back down again. But for some reason, it's you can set your watch by it, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
She'll go down. She'll go down excellently, won't she? She'll fall asleep. She'll go down lovely, and then an hour later she'll just scream the house down. To see it, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is frightening. No, it's not me. We try to talk to her, cuddle her, and everything, and she just does not know we're there. Oh, it's okay. She calls out for me or Owen, but no, she doesn't see us. She doesn't hear us. Look, Mummy's here.
Mummy!
Yeah, look, Mummy's here.
Night terrors affect only 3% of children. Unlike nightmares, they occur during a deep phase of sleep and are not a sign of psychological disturbance or fear.
It's weird. Sometimes she can be, you can understand what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she can just say words and say things, or sometimes she's screaming, don't push me, get away. She does sometimes funny arm movements as if she's shaking people off her.
What is it?
I need
Sometimes she's just sort of speaking some weird language. Sounds like Swahili or something. It's just weird. Just a case of waiting. and you can sit there and be waiting and listening too hard, you know, rather than talking to each other. You've got the volume down, the TV. You're just waiting for something to happen now, and that's not good. That's, I don't know, that spoils even that. That's really, because then we haven't got the time to ourselves. We're just sitting here waiting now, and you think, well, we might as well, one of us might as well be in bed. But
An hour later, and Holly is crying again. But this time it's not a night terror. She's awake and wants to get in Mum and Dad's bed.
What's the matter? What's up? You don't want to give in straight away. Well, not give in, but you don't want to sort of result or to sticking in our bed all the time straight away, if you can help it.
Oh, I always try and put her back down, but sometimes there's no way.
Yeah? It's all right, come on, this way. We'll get in our bed. You could be trying to put her back in her own bed all night long, but at the end of the day, we work long hours. She's in our bed now, and that's it. She won't move again now for the whole night. The thing is, we only sort of have an hour's window of opportunity. So we've managed to adapt our nocturnal activities around Holly.
Owen sleeps in Holly's room because she's tucked up with Marion in his bed.
Please.
I think I'd done that when I was little, so there's nothing.
Sleep disorders often have a genetic link. Daniel's dad, Martin, also banged his head at night, but it stopped when he was 6.
So you stopped.
I didn't know it was doing it. I stopped it.
Head banging to get to sleep.
It's normally when he has a bad sleep he headbangs, or when he wakes up a bit.
Sometimes when he's stressed or when he's had a headache, isn't it?
Just worse.
The worst part of it is on holiday, isn't it?
You make the whole caravan shake.
You can't sleep.
What used to annoy me when you used to beat the brick wall with your head. That was a one.
Brick wall?
Yeah, he used to bang his head against the brick wall all the time. At least now it's a pillow, isn't it? Yeah. So hopefully on Thursday, isn't it Thursday we've got the meeting, isn't it? Yeah. We might know where we stand with him, mate, and what we're going to do. Could be anything.
Daddy?
We don't know.
Daddy?
For years you've been chasing up everything, haven't you? For years we've been chasing up everything.
Yeah.
It's taken a long time, and now at least, you know, we're starting to see people. Because he's getting bigger and he just hasn't grown out of it, so we're seeing the specialist now, you know, so...
And it's taken us all this time to finally get somewhere to explain, you know, someone to explain about the situation and help us out, really.
Daniel and his family are seeing children's sleep specialists Yasha Beaumont and Dr. Victoria McGrigor.
We've tried everything, haven't we? We tried putting him on the floor on a mattress, but he still headbangs. We've tried everything, but this is the best solution because every time he's on his front, he will headbang. So you turn him on his back and he stops.
So you always intervene straight away?
Yeah.
OK.
So when he is actually headbanging and you have left him, have you any idea how long it lasts?
And the longest I left him was 5 minutes, and it got louder and louder.
So we don't really sort of know how long it would go on for if you didn't intervene? No.
You said he's always on the go. He's an active sort of boy.
Yeah, very active.
Right. You keen on sport?
Yeah.
What about school friends? You got lots of friends?
I've got lots of friends, but I've got one best friend, which is David.
Right. Do you ever sleep over with David? Or does David ever come to sleep with you?
No.
No.
Now, headbanging has got a fancy name, Daniel. It's called rhythmic movement disorder. OK? It often starts when boys and girls are very tiny in the first year of life, and it often goes away around the time somebody goes to school. And that's what happened to Dad here when he was 5 or 6.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
the head banging had stopped. But we know that in some boys and girls that it can go on into later childhood, so to the age you are now. Okay? About 2/3 of the boys and girls who have it, it's to do with going off to sleep. And then a small proportion of the boys and girls who have it, it happens when they are asleep. And that's what we haven't quite worked out with Yasha when it's happening for you. And it might be that it's happening at both times. Okay? That sometimes you sort of think you're asleep, but you're just on that bit of just going off. And other times it sounds as if it's happening in your sleep. Okay? So that's where the EEG will help us. Now, it would be really, really helpful if you're going to be okay with this, if we perhaps arrange for the EEG to be done with the video running, so that we get a really spot-on picture of what is happening to you and what is happening on the EEG.
Sort of inside and out. What goes on inside your brain, and we can see what's happening outside.
I do want to say that we don't think you're having funny turns or fits at night, and the sort of things we've described really are not associated with anything, something that's going wrong inside your head or anything like that, okay? So you really want to reassure you.
Yeah,
we want to reassure you about that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay.
I was really hoping for a miracle. I think he really thought he was going to get some tablets and he stopped doing it because we had a discussion that night, and I think he was disappointed in a way as well. But hopefully as the tests go on, maybe Daniel will have some answer, really, that him and me really want.
The Yates family have been in their new house for over a month. Katie decides to explore, even though she's fast asleep.
You could hear noises upstairs, so you go upstairs looking around everywhere to see where she was going to pop out from. But we always talk to her.
Yeah, we just
calmly. We don't shout at her, or scream or anything.
We don't
just
try and wake her up.
Quietly and calmly, and get her back in bed. Just say, Katie, go back to sleep. Get back in bed and go back to sleep. But she'd carry on, she'd say, just get them away from me, move them over there, do this. Start ordering us about, won't she? You know, to get us to get involved in whatever she's doing or talking to.
Yeah.
But
yes, it's as if she can't differentiate between us and the dream.
I think it'll be pretty obvious if I was awake or not, but to them it isn't, because I don't know, they don't really realise it often, but now they're starting to realise what I'm like, because usually when I'm awake, I say, I am awake, and they're like, no, you're not, and I'm like, yes, I am. They're like, okay, she didn't get that mad, so, because usually I say it over, I am awake, I am awake, I am awake.
The family have had to come up with a password. It's used to check if Katie's awake.
It's weird because you can talk to her and she'll answer you back, and you can go on for quite a few minutes, and then all of a sudden she'll say something to you and you think, why on earth has she said that? That's got nothing to do with what we're talking about. And that was one of the reasons why we decided on this password, because sometimes you just couldn't tell whether she was awake or asleep.
Yeah. But then she learnt it when she was asleep. So it didn't really work.
I think I need a new password.
I wandered out my room and they saw me and say, what's the password? And if I was awake, I'd say, awake, it's spaghetti. But if I was asleep, I'd try and say spaghetti, but I wouldn't have to say, getty.
Or you just get, what are you talking about? Get out of my way. A few swear words and then off she went.
hasn't had a proper night's sleep for 5 months. They're seeing child clinical psychologist and sleep expert Joe Douglas to get some practical advice about how to deal with the problem.
OK, so what would you like to achieve and how would you like things to change?
I'd like very much for Eden to sleep in her room all night.
Right.
I'd like her to be happy to be left.
Yeah,
yes.
to leave while she's still awake.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for her to be happy.
Yes.
For Eden to be happy.
Yes, yes. OK. So it's something you feel quite strongly about now. It's something you feel, you know, this has all gone on a bit too long now and you want to change it.
I think with the baby coming
baby
in
coming.
as well. Yeah.
Yes,
And I've been sleeping on the sofa for 5 months.
Oh,
so
oh poor you.
It's difficult.
Yes, that's right.
I'd very much like to spend some time in bed with my wife.
Absolutely. Yes, I don't blame you. So what we have to think about is managing how she falls asleep is the key to this. Yeah. And she needs to fall asleep by herself. Now, what we can do with that is we can combine that with a reward. Is for a very good girl for staying in her bed at bedtime, not coming out of her room, that she gets a star or a sticker on a chart, and if she gets 3 stickers, then we buy a little special little surprise. Yeah, so she's getting something out of it. You know, it's not just you getting your own way, but she's getting something as well. So, are you ready to do this tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're ready to do it tonight? OK, that's good. All right. So what we're going to do is going to have your bedtime routine. Yeah. OK, and you're going to have a story. You're going to put it to bed. OK. You hope you're listening to all of this. And then what you're going to say is, right, night now, and you're going to go to sleep, and I'll see you in the morning. What you might find is she might cry a bit, and then she'll wait to hear if you're coming up. And then she'll cry louder, and then she'll wait to hear if you're coming up. And you think, oh!
Scream and scream and scream.
Right.
You know, she's done it for like a couple of hours.
OK.
And it's just horrid.
But at this stage, if you then go in and tell her to be quiet, what do you think that teaches her?
Well, she's got your attention then, hasn't she? So just got to do it.
You just
put her to
really
bed and leave her.
Just need to go cold turkey, really. But you've told her about it, you've warned her about it, and she still gets the star if she stays there. OK. Now, what happens if she comes out of the room?
Put her back, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just
OK.
start again.
You just take her straight back up. You don't let her stay down for any length of time. You don't make a big you don't give her a cuddle. You don't give her a big kiss. You say, come on, back to bed now, it's bedtime. It's just got to show her that there's a psychological boundary, really. And you say, don't forget your star.
Do you like the sound of that?
Get
Some
rewards.
stars. Yeah.
Get surprises.
You're going to have 1 for staying in your own bed at bedtime, OK, falling asleep, and 1 for staying all night in your bed, not waking Mummy up. OK?
Can you do that?
All right. I'll stick them on the chart, OK? And then you'll get a surprise at the end. There we are. Give those to Mummy.
There you go.
Thank you.
Special stars.
Special stars.
Yeah.
Good.
I feel really positive about it. I feel really good about it. But she's got some great ideas. She knows what she's talking about. I feel good. How do you feel?
Ask me again tomorrow.
He goes into hospital tonight to have electrodes put in on his hair, and last time he had them, it hurt his head. They stick it on his hair with super glue or some kind of glue. But last time his hair was long and it actually pulled it out. So we cut it shorter and then it won't hurt hopefully as much. That's it, you're done. Just trim up now.
Daniel needs to have an EEG test. It'll tell the doctors exactly which phase of sleep he's in when he's banging his head.
How many more do you have to do now?
That's the last one.
Then they can plan his treatment.
Yeah, I've got to put all the cream in each one. You're very brave. It's getting on more top of it. Don't worry, it doesn't stain.
Do you know that when you was born and you had an operation, when you were 4 hours old, you was in this exact room, your cot was here, right in the middle where that table is. And you're back here now, nearly 11 years later, you're in the same place again. It is strange that all the rooms in the hospital, you come to the same one again. Let's get you settled down. No, you're going to settle down now, mate, it's getting late, all right? You comfy now? All right. Just make sure that's... Is that okay like that? Let's just pull it over there a bit. How's that?
Okay.
Right, lay down then. All right, my mate. Loves you.
Loves you.
Just turn the lights down low, all right?
Owen and Marion are also seeing Joe Douglas. They're desperate to know if there's a cure for Holly's night terrors.
It looks terrible, doesn't it?
It
It really is frightening. And you just think, what's, you know, you don't know whether she's gone mad or she's having a seizure or, you know, this. You think there's got to be something the matter, but actually there's nothing the matter.
No.
It's not indicative of any psychiatric problem. It's not indicative of a major psychological difficulty of any sort. You know, it's just an event that happens in relation to sleep. It really is not. It's
but it's
just
very difficult to see her in that state. It would be nice for us to get back to some sort of normality because we sleep in separate beds and it's sort of this up and swapping bedrooms all night.
Musical beds, sort of.
Musical beds, yeah. Well, let's separate out the night terror from the coming into your room, because I think they're two different things. The night terror, we can do one of two things. You can just ignore it. You can think about that.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't leave her.
You couldn't leave her?
No.
Right.
No way.
Right. What do you think you being there does?
It makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
The fact that one of us is there with her when she's going through this terror. I couldn't.
Because she
think
bumps.
just leave her
If we leave her, she walks into a wall.
Oh, does she? Does she walk around her room?
You can go from the sort of sitting bolt upright, screaming.
Yes.
And then she'll start.
She might walk
roaming
around. Right. Okay. So you need to be there to make sure she doesn't hurt herself.
Yes.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. But you being there doesn't make her fall asleep any faster again, does it? Settle.
Well, I would think it would do.
Why?
Because again, it's the physical contact thing.
But she doesn't know that
She doesn't know that you're there.
There is that. Yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you
at the end of the day, we're not doing.
You're bothering yourselves and getting very upset because you think there's something wrong with her. The only thing that does seem to have an effect is to be aware of when the sleep terror is about to start. What you would see is about a couple of minutes before she starts screaming, is she'd start to toss and turn, and you'd see her moving in bed and starting to thrash around a bit. As soon as you see that, before she goes into the full-blown night terror, you wake her up. Because what she's doing is she's just going down into the bottom of that deep sleep curve. And you can wake her up at that point because it's just before she drops into deep sleep. And if you wake her up then and make sure she's fully awake and then settle her back to sleep, you'll break that cycle.
Right. Well, if we can get the night terrors out of the way, then I think getting her to sleep in her own bed all night long won't be too hard.
Right.
Do you?
I think that might be quite. Yeah.
That's going to be her willpower against yours.
Yeah.
The ferocity of the attack. That's what breaks our willpower every time, is to see her in such a state.
Yes, yes. So the night terror makes you take her into your bed.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Yes.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Right. Okay.
Because Sina's so distressed, I just want to cuddle her.
Yes.
And, you know, be close to her and make sure that she's fine.
Yes.
And now we know it doesn't do anything.
Yes.
No, but it's still...
Yes, it is.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's difficult. It's very hard. You feel so much for her. You don't want her to feel anything and be upset about anything. No.
First time ourselves, isn't it?
Yes.
Because it was just very distressing to watch.
Yes, it is.
Not sort of a third-party thing.
No. You want to wake her up before she goes into deep sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, what's all this about then?
Oh, this is good. This is going to be
What's
good.
all this about?
We're all going to be a lot happier after all this.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Don't cry, darling. Yeah? What's the matter?
Come here.
Give them a hug.
That's right.
I think she gets embarrassed about it herself.
Yes, I know. It's quite hard to talk about it to strangers, isn't it? But Mummy and Daddy are getting very, very tired and worn out. Yeah. And you'll get tired and worn out too, so it's quite nice for you to feel happy and comfortable in your own bed. And you're going to be earning prizes. I mean, that's the best bit.
Can't be bad, can it?
Absolutely.
Big prize. Oh, absolutely lovely.
Are you collecting anything at the moment? Are you collecting any little things, or you collect? What are you collecting?
Mr. Men books.
Mr. Men books.
Yeah,
oh, right. How many have you got?
Don't know.
20?
You got 20?
I think so.
No.
You've got Little Miss Sunshine and... Oh, that's nice. Which is your favourite one?
Little Miss...
Chatterbox, was that it?
Yes.
Chatterbox.
Chatterbox like you.
Right,
Yeah, really
right.
Yeah, chatterbox.
Yes.
Yeah, and...
I think we're going to tackle one thing at a time. Tackle the night terrors, get those out of the way to acceptable level, and then sort out the sleeping. I don't think there's no point trying to do both at once. Yeah? Get her to sleep to about 4 o'clock in the morning, quite peacefully, and then get her to sleep in her own bed all the time. Because if she sleeps, if we tackle the night terrors, she's going to stay in her own bed anyway, because she's not going to have that waking up period.
No, exactly.
How confident are you that you can do it?
I'm very confident.
Huh? I was going to say that you were the weakest link.
No, you're doing wrong there, because you're going to be the weakest link. I'm always portrayed as the weakest link and not being strong enough, but that's not the truth.
If we work together, yes, I think I'm very confident we will get to the desired end.
Owen is following the advice. He's going to try and wake Holly up before her night terror starts.
Hello, darling. Holly. 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 Hello, Holly. Holly. Hello. Holly, wake up.
Yes.
Wake up. Look at me. Wake up. Look at me. Yeah? Yeah? All right, look at me. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Daddy forgot to give you a kiss. You going to give us a kiss? Come here. Give us a kiss. Oh, I didn't give you a kiss good night. Come on, give us a kiss. You going to go back to bed again? Yeah, sleep tight, yeah? All right? Teddy bear.
It's the start of Eden's new sleep regime, and Ian's hoping she'll earn 2 stars tonight.
Right, I'm off. See you later. Be good. Yeah? Sweet dreams, Be good. Earn yourself a star tonight, yeah? Okay. See you later.
See you later. Be good. Drive carefully.
I will.
See you later.
Right, where should we stick your chart? On the wall over here? Yeah, do you want to do it? Okay, there you go. So in the morning, if you manage to stay in your room all night, we'll stick a star up there. Yeah, and if you're a good girl when I go down, I'll turn the light off for you, and you go to sleep all on your own, we'll stick one there. Yeah? Can we do that? You be a good girl? Yeah. Okie dokie. Go on then. See you in the morning, okay? Oh, good girl. All right? Okay. Love you. See you in the morning. Night, night. been 10, 15 minutes. She ought to be asleep by now, I think. She's not let me put her to sleep on her own for about 2 years, or maybe a little bit more than that. So this is, it feels very odd at the moment. So, but it would be nice if she continues like this, you know, when I've got friends around or anything like that, I'll be able to sort of come down and not leave them on their own for ages if they have to. So sort of apologise, you know, I'll be back in 10 minutes. But it's, yeah, I think it's going to take a bit of getting used to, but it'll be quite nice.
Ian's back from his night's work. He's so pleased Eden slept through, he wakes her up.
Hello, darling. Good girl. It's a good girl to sleep in her own room. You are, aren't you? Right, so you get 2 stars in. Kiss cuddle. You're such a good girl. You sleep well. You can sleep well. Did you? Good girl. There's 2 stars for you. 2 stars for you today. Sorry, I woke you up. Don't lay back down there for another half hour. It's not quite time to get up. You're a good girl. I'm gonna have a cup of tea. Never time to get up soon. You're such a big girl. Well done. Well done. Well done, big girl. Well done. Seen it well. Well, it looks like I'm actually going to get to sleep in my own bed tonight with my wife. Won't that be great? First time, second time, third time in 5 months. Wicked. I'm going to drink my tea and go to bed. Say adios for now.
Hello. Okay?
It's the 3rd night of the experiment, and Holly's been in bed for an hour.
Holly. Holly. Hello, all right? I'm just waking you up quickly. Okay? Holly, do you want to cook?
For the first couple of times we found it hard to wake her up fully. She didn't really want to wake up, did she, really?
Yeah? Yeah? Come on then. Come on. Yeah? Yeah? Come on. I found it very hard waking up because you just put her back, you put her asleep, you know, for the night, and then suddenly you wake her up. It's quite a funny process.
She's also sussed out now that why we're waking her up. We started off saying, you know, oh, we've forgotten to give you a kiss, or we've forgotten to give you a drink. But now she knows why we're waking her up and in her own mind, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And I think maybe she's better for that, possibly.
She sometimes says to me before she goes to bed, "Oh, are you waking me up again?" I said, "Yes, we will wake you up again." She said, "Okay." And she's been good. She's been good.
It's morning. Eden went to bed on her own, and she didn't get up. She's earned her stars.
Good morning. Right. Did you sleep well, young lady? Yes? Yeah? There's a good girl. Well done. So you seem to sleep well, but I kept waking up every hour. I was expecting her to come in or to call me or to wake up or something. And it took me quite a while to sort of relax and go to sleep because I wasn't used to it, and I think I was just waiting for something to happen. Which colour stars would you like for being such a brilliant girl? Just there, because you fell asleep on your own?
Pardon me?
Because you fell asleep on your own, didn't you?
That's fell asleep on my own.
Yeah, and this one is because you...
Be good.
And...
At night.
Stayed in bed all night, isn't it?
Stayed in bed at night too, isn't
So
it?
that one goes there, just under. That's it. Brilliant. Well done. The second night, she went to bed as good as gold.
Just next door.
She hears noises, but she went back really, really well.
Okay. Try again. Third time lucky, yeah?
On the third night, she stayed in her bed all night, which was lovely. The fourth night, I think, 5 times. It's having to put her back to bed and then get her up and put her back to bed, and she's getting up again, and that was hard going. You know, I sort of thought in the end, oh, for God's sake, just get in my bed, it'd be much easier. But you have to persevere.
Love you.
Good, sweet dreams.
Katie is now leaving her bedroom on a regular basis, and what's going on in her subconscious is anybody's guess. Some of the things she gets up to are quite odd.
Well, the fish was it was ill. it had a really big tummy and it couldn't
just swim upside down on top of the water.
And it kept floating back up because of its tummy. So
you were talking about it, weren't you, all through the day, saying, "Oh, we're going to have to take it to the vet," or "It needs putting down out of its misery." And then that night, we killed it.
Well, she didn't know she killed it.
No, because the next day we went to feed it.
And
went to feed it, and it wasn't there. So I got Mum, and like we moved around all the gravel and stuff, didn't we?
Looking for it.
And we thought maybe Sarah might have died, and we might have like got rid of it. And then so we were all looking, and then Sarah knocked off the duster
onto the floor
and
stood on it.
And then Nicola picked it up and like and it unravelled itself, and the fish was stuck in it, all like
stuck
gulped
inside it.
Horrible.
But you were really scared by that because you ran around the bedroom screaming, and then you kind of realised what you'd done.
You were upset about it, weren't you?
Yeah.
At times, Katie's nighttime activities do bother her parents.
Remember the mobile phone incident, Katie? Yes. Where you phoned a random person up in your sleep.
Please pass the cream, please.
Yeah, that was awful though, because I couldn't find your mobile phone. And then found it inside your duvet cover, and then you got a text message saying hello. Remember our chat last night?
I was like, who are you?
Did you speak to them on the phone afterwards?
No, we were texting.
No, afterwards.
That was
He said,
scary.
No, I mean afterwards. No, I think you did phone, talk to them on the phone.
No,
They give your name and stuff.
I talked to them on the phone, yeah. But then the next day they like texted me saying, "Hello, remember me?" I was like, "Who are you?" And they were like, "You don't remember me? You're Katie Beck
Should have said you were
Yates."
drunk.
You must have talked for a long time because your battery had gone flat.
Yeah.
Do you know who they were? Or was it just a number you tapped in?
It was just a number that I typed in, and
That's amazing, though, isn't it? To get the was it like a house phone or a mobile number?
Mobile.
So you must have had to put the 07 in and
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
No, I didn't like that. That was
horrible.
That's sort of your phone. You took your phone out of your room then, didn't you? Took that away for quite a while.
Do you want to sip on?
Is yeah, pardon? Je ne sais pas, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Guess what ale is in French?
Garlic?
Yeah. Ananas.
Pineapple.
I reckon you can see it.
I'm not seeing it. I do know a little bit of French.
What is basilic?
Basil?
You looking through that mirror?
Oh, that's obvious basil.
Turn it that way.
No, I can't because I'm looking. It's got the review, hasn't it?
Can I take this in France? On holiday?
Yeah, of course you can. You can read it any time, mate.
Wicked.
Wicked.
And then they think that I'm French. Well, they wouldn't think
How
because...
are you feeling today now? Because you was banging a lot last night.
Huh?
Mum was up all night with you last night, and then you woke me up this morning at 6 o'clock banging as well. How are you feeling now?
Daniel and his dad Martin are going back to see Dr. Victoria McGrigor and Yasha Beaumont to get the results of his sleep test.
One of the problems that we haven't quite cracked is at what point in the sleep, stages of sleep, when we talked about the sort of up and down phases that you go through, that the headbanging's occurring. That was just one of those things that, having normally done it every night, he didn't do it the night he was in hospital.
When he was settling down, he had, right at the beginning, he had 3 little baby headbangs. I go tum tum into the pillow, but that was it.
On his tummy,
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It does sound like he didn't do it.
It didn't, yes, which is good in lots of ways, isn't it?
Very
good. Why is it bad news?
Because we can't find a war headbang.
We may never know why.
No, we don't know why, because some people just do headbang. We've just got to find ways of helping you stop. That's the important bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to one of the specialists who looks at the EEGs and see if we can, from the original EEG he had and the one that he had this time, we can actually get the information we need just from that.
Yeah,
Once I've got that, then we'll know whether we're going to try and manage this. If he's partly awake, then we'll give you some ideas about some practical things you might be able to do to anticipate them and perhaps stop it happening. If it's actually happening in sleep, then I think we may be thinking more in terms of having some sort of medication to see if we can get rid of them that way.
No, right? To relax you or something like that, maybe.
Does that seem all right?
We're not keen to rush in with medication
No.
at all.
Well,
That's okay with you?
Yeah, we put up with it this long.
Yes. We were talking about you yesterday at the hospital clinic, and one of our other consultants just said, "Why doesn't he sleep in a hammock?" You can't turn over in a hammock, can you? If you had a hammock and you slept in it every night for a month, 6 weeks, whether when you went back to your own bed it had stopped.
Or a straitjacket.
No, not a straight.
We weren't thinking of a straitjacket.
No. Oh, yeah.
Would you like to sleep in that? Give it a try.
Oh. Hopefully by the time we see you again, we'll have a very clear idea and some plans.
Okay.
Hello, Holly. Hello, darling. All right? Holly. Hello. Hello. You didn't give me a kiss?
Owen and Marion have succeeded in stopping Holly's night terrors.
It's me, it's Daddy. You gonna give me a kiss good night? Well, give us a kiss. To get her to sleep in her own bed, I think it's going to be quite a long process. Getting her to sleep now till past 12 o'clock is the goal, and it's getting to be the norm. And then we'll extend that. Night, night. Night, night.
What we don't want is that she thinks that we don't love her anymore and we don't want her in our bed anymore. We do not want that at all. And if she sleeps in her bed until 2 o'clock every night, you know, we'd be happy with that. At least we can have some time together. But we will try and extend it and make it, you know, make her eventually sleep till the morning in her own bed.
It's 9 days into Eden's new sleep regime.
And the big hand's pointing straight up, and the little hand's pointing where it is now, but 12 hours time. At 9 o'clock in the morning, come wake us up, okay? Good girl. When it's daylight, you know how to get daylight, don't you? Look out the window. Night, night then.
How do I put the work?
Give me a big slobby kiss first.
See you later. Big cuddle, family hug. Night, night, little darling. Which lights do you want left on, Eden?
My light.
Do you want this one left on?
Yeah.
Or the
You don't
hall one?
normally, do you? You just have the hall one.
Hall, like that.
But I want mine on.
How about that?
No, I want my one.
No, that's good.
I want my one.
Right, we'll leave your one on.
Leave your one on till you fall asleep then, and we have the hall one on, yeah? Okay.
Okay.
Night, night then. Night, night, night.
All right then, sweet pea.
Everything's going really well. Eden's in bed. And she'll be there till sort of 9 o'clock in the morning, so that's really good. And I think to carry on like that, she's quite happy with it, and pleased with her rewards and her stars. So, a night off, I think I'll enjoy a glass of wine, and I'll go to bed, and once again, sleep in my bed with my wife, and have a little bit of a lay-in. It'll be really good. So there, well done, and cheers.
'09. Well done. Excellent. That's really good. That's a whole 12 hours in bed.
We're closer, if you like. We spend time together in the evening, and we're happy. We're happy about what Eden's doing. You know? It's really nice to see our little girl accomplishing something and feeling really proud about doing it.
The doctors need more information before Daniel's treatment plan can be confirmed. But there are a number of possibilities, from retraining him to sleep on his side and medication, to the more practical ones.
He said that they come up with this idea about sleeping in a hammock or something, and another one was sticking cotton reels on the front of my pyjamas.
Cotton reels is a good one.
I think it's fun, like, because not everybody, I don't know anybody else that does it, like how often I do it or do the kind of stuff that I do, so it makes me different.
Good night.